to black women. And I'm just wondering, as black men, do you think that we do enough of that for ourselves? Do we look out enough for each other to give other black men opportunity?
I can't speak for every black man, but I can't speak for myself. And if you look back at the track record and history of what I've done in film, even before diversity was cool, before they were hiring black people, they were coming to work with me. And you know, just not as much as in front of the camera as behind.
And I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal.
Isn't it intriguing how someone like Tyler Perry, who's often seen as a positive force, is now under fire for allegedly hindering the progress of black entertainers? Dave Chappelle has hinted at this for years, and it appears he's ready to address it head-on. Rumors suggest that Chappelle is gearing up to confront Tyler Perry for what's perceived as a betrayal of black men in the entertainment industry. There are murmurs about Perry's ambition, suggesting he's willing to undermine his fellow black entertainers to advance his own agenda. But why the sudden betrayal? Is Tyler Perry under any influence? Join us as we unravel how Dave Chappelle finally confronts Tyler Perry for betraying black men. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe. Now, let's get into it. Dave Chappelle shared some interesting insights during an appearance on Oprah's show. He talked about a peculiar observation he made about the entertainment industry. According to Chappelle, there's a pattern where they dress up every black man in movies in women's clothing at some point. Chappelle recalled an incident while filming a movie with Martin Lawrence. He walked into his trailer and found a dress, assuming it was a mistake. It turned out the dress was for a scene where Martin's character disguises Chappelle as a prostitute to escape from jail. Chappelle refused, saying it wasn't discussed and he didn't need a dress to be funny. Despite pressure from writers, directors, and producers, he stood his ground. They eventually rewrote this scene without the dress. This experience made Chappelle realize something deeper. It wasn't just about wearing a dress, it was about feeling pressured by the industry to do things against his principles for success. Chappelle's refusal to wear the dress wasn't about the garment itself, but about the industry's attempt to pigeonhole black artists into certain roles. He felt they were trying to force black entertainers to do whatever it took to succeed. This incident opened his eyes to a larger issue. It wasn't just his struggle. Many other black men had been asked to do the same. He mentioned examples like Martin Lawrence in Big Mama's House, Eddie Murphy in the Nutty Professor series, and Jamie Foxx's memorable character, Ugly Wanda, in Living Color. Even the Wayans brothers tried their hand at it with White Chicks. However, there were less successful attempts like Joanna Man, which many would rather forget. Tyler Perry is not just a big name in entertainment. He also holds significant influence in right-wing evangelical circles. His media empire has seen remarkable success and recognition in the entertainment world. Kevin Hart, another well-known figure, joined the conversation, emphasizing the importance for artists to protect their brand and uphold certain boundaries. He shared that until then, he hadn't encountered any challenges to his personal beliefs. When asked about facing a situation similar to the wearing a dress scenario, Kevin Hart said he hadn't faced such a dilemma. He stressed the importance of recognizing oneself as a brand and safeguarding it at all times. He even mentioned turning down a request to dribble a basketball on a talk show because he believed it would diminish his brand's credibility. Interestingly, a year later, Kevin found himself wearing a dress in an SNL skit. Fans criticized him, accusing him of compromising his principles. This incident raised questions about why Kevin Hart, who had been so adamant about protecting his brand, ended up in a contradictory situation. However, wearing a dress in Hollywood isn't unique to Kevin Hart. It's almost like a tradition many male celebrities have experienced before him. Some speculate it's part of a larger conspiracy within the industry. Tyler Perry responded to Dave Chappelle's criticism in an interview, acknowledging Chappelle's intellect and deep thinking. Perry made it clear that his choice to wear a dress in his movies was entirely his own. He highlighted his $2 billion franchise, stating that he had made 19 movies since then, all based on his own decisions. Perry compared wearing a dress in his movies to putting on a work uniform. Despite not enjoying it personally, he sees it as part of his role as an actor, aiming to entertain, uplift, and encourage his audience. Wait a minute, is that the whole story? Some actors are claiming that Tyler Perry is pushing them into gay roles, causing drama on set. Actor and voice coach Brandon Jay spilled the tea on TikTok, revealing the challenges faced on Perry's Meet the Brown set. According to Jay, working on Perry's set feels like a week's worth of shooting squeezed into a single day, with Perry throwing last-minute script changes at the actors. Jay, who auditioned for a role as a bullied high school student, shared all the details. Here's the kicker. The actor noticed that Tyler Perry wasn't feeling the original script, so everyone had to scramble to learn new lines on the spot, all chosen by Perry himself. Jay revealed that Perry went completely off script, improvising and rewriting the entire screenplay on the spot, feeding lines to the actors. If you didn't catch on quickly, Perry would drop the "you're fired" bomb. But it doesn't end there. As Jay hustled to learn the new lines, Perry suddenly decided that Jay's character would be gay and have a crush on his high school bully. Yep, it's definitely not what Jay had signed up for at his audition. Perry dropped the bombshell, saying he wanted Jay's character, Jeffrey, to be gay and have a crush on his bully. Crazy, right? In the second part of the saga, Jay shared that his initial reaction was to reach out to his agent, who basically told him he didn't have to accept the role if he wasn't comfortable with it. After some serious thought, Jay decided it was an opportunity he didn't want to miss out on. So, despite Perry's last-minute twist, Jay went ahead and played the role. Alright, let's dig into this whole dress thing in Hollywood and figure out what's going on. Why do they keep doing this? Why do tough young black men often end up in dresses? It's puzzling, right? To understand it, we need to go back to the roots. This whole idea of emasculating black men has been around since slavery days, and they even had a name for it: buck breaking. Let me quickly explain the origin of buck breaking. Back in the day, mainly in the Caribbean, slave owners used this tactic against male slaves who were seen as rebellious. Here's how it went. They'd make the enslaved man drop his pants, bend over a tree stump, and then whip him severely. The goal was to weaken him so he couldn't resist the rape that followed. It's heavy stuff. The white slave owner would then proceed to rape the enslaved man right in front of his wife. Imagine the trauma of that. Now, fast forward to today and you see a similar trend. Even in Hollywood, strong black men end up in dresses just like they did back then. It messes with your head, especially for kids who see these role models switching up like that. It's like they're playing mind games, doing it in front of fans, family, the whole deal. That's the connection people are making. History repeating itself, but in a different form. It's crazy, right? It's kind of funny in a messed up way. You notice the pattern? They always bring in these strong, manly black dudes first. It's like they weren't dressing up in high school or middle school, always rocking that masculine vibe. And it's not about being gay or whatever. If that's your style, do you know judgment? But we're talking about straight black men here. Check out how they enter Hollywood all strong and confident, then see how they leave. It's a whole different scene. And you can't just blame the industry alone. These guys make the choice to go along with it. Tyler Perry even mentioned in that interview in response to Dave Chappelle that nobody forced him into anything. It's the same story for others. They willingly comply with the agenda just to advance their careers. We need to hold them accountable too. They're willing to do anything for that next level, even if it means participating in this strange ritual. The industry seems to ask, how far are you willing to go for money? Are you willing to betray your people, promote a certain agenda, and compromise your dignity in front of everyone? It's reminiscent of the buck breaking from the past, but now these men are voluntarily participating. Times have changed, and now it's a choice. At the end of the day, Kevin Hart shouldn't worry about criticism for wearing a dress, given the long line of men who have done the same before him. We had the Big Mama's House movies 1, 2, and 3. Even Media, a character played by Tyler Perry, always wears dresses. So why single out Kevin Hart? It seems like it was just his turn. Even Cat Williams commented on Kevin Hart wearing a dress on SNL, saying that nothing might be funnier than a guy in a dress, especially a black guy. Cat talked about how Kevin doesn't need to stress about it, pointing out the history of men wearing dresses in comedy like in Big Mama's House and with Media. But then Cat Williams dropped a bomb mentioning the Illuminati.
Us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time.
He suggested that some people are against it, and going against it comes at a cost. When you're anti-Illuminati, you get attacked by the media, discredited, and face other consequences. Cat brought up how they did the same thing to DMX. It's as if he's suggesting there's more to these instances of men wearing dresses than just comedy. It's like they're part of some strange ritual these men have to go through. It's interesting to note that Dave Chappelle discussed a similar issue during his appearance on The Oprah Show back in 2006. He revealed that he turned down a huge $50 million deal from Comedy Central. When Oprah asked why he would give up such a massive sum, Dave didn't beat around the bush. It wasn't about the money for him. It was about avoiding the drama that often accompanies success. He explained how reaching a new level of fame messes with your head, requiring time to adapt to the new environment. Dave has been in the entertainment industry since he was just 14 years old, so he's seen his fair share of behind-the-scenes drama unfold. When Oprah asked about stories he's heard, Dave got real. He mentioned stars like Mariah Carey, who snagged big deals and seemingly went off the rails. Even Laurence Olivier was mentioned, waving a gun on the street and claiming people were out to get him. These incidents are part of the strange things that happen when celebrities are on the verge of a major career move. Dave Chappelle also shared more insights, revealing how big media companies wanted him to write sketches that made people laugh at him, not with him. Essentially, they suggested that if he didn't humiliate himself, he wouldn't achieve the level of fame and wealth they were offering. Now, shifting back to Tyler Perry, his personal life has been a hot topic lately. Rumors are circulating that he might be projecting some suppressed issues onto black male actors. But the drama doesn't stop there. There are discussions about Tyler possibly taking advantage of younger black men in the industry. Christian Keys added fuel to the fire with a heartfelt Instagram video shedding light on power abuse in the entertainment industry.
I have recordings of them confessing that, the other guys that they have on the payroll, all of the above. And the difference is, the wonderful thing about confidentiality agreements and non-disclosure agreements is that
he recounted a troubling encounter with a high-powered individual who allegedly boasted about having control over a group of young black men. While Christian didn't reveal any names, the internet is abuzz with speculation trying to uncover the identity of this mysterious figure. Christian's long-standing relationship with Tyler Perry makes this story even more intriguing. They have been working together for nearly 2 decades, from Diary of a Mad Black Woman in 2005 to the recent TV series All the Queen's Men. Naturally, people connect the dots and wonder if Tyler Perry is the person in Christian's story. However, it's essential to stay grounded in reality. We're hearing purely speculation, and only Christian Keys knows the full story. He has hinted that he has evidence which he claims to have passed on to the police. We may get more details about this mystery in the coming days or weeks. Regardless of Christian's situation, Tyler Perry has faced other accusations, including abruptly firing writers, casting characters that reinforce stereotypes, and promoting negative narratives about black women. Despite his success at the box office and on TV with shows like House of Pain, things turned sour when he was negotiating a syndication deal and a spin-off called Meet the Browns. According to reports, Perry dismissed 4 writers who were seeking union contracts, causing a stir in the industry. This move was seen as a betrayal by the writers, who had contributed to over 100 show episodes. "I feel like I was slapped in the face," one of the writers, Terry Brown Jackson, told Deadline. "We were good enough to create over 100 episodes, but now when it comes to reaping the benefits of the show being syndicated and having other spin-offs from it, he decides to let us go unless we accept a horrible offer." Kelly Griffin, the head writer for House of Pain, expressed her determination not to back down without a fight. She hoped that something positive would emerge from their struggle, especially if it could benefit future black writers. However, Perry's response was that he was now writing everything himself. But Perry's issues with unions didn't end there. In 2015, actor unions SAG-AFTRA and Actors Equity took a stand by banning their members from participating in Perry's play On the Run because his production company refused to sign union contracts. It seems Perry's pursuit of profit isn't earning him universal applause in the industry. After the success of House of Pain and Meet the Browns, cultural critic Jamla Lemia wrote an open letter to Tyler Perry, which was published by NPR. Lemia directly addressed Perry, expressing her discomfort with how he used stereotypes in his work. She pointed out that through his work, the country had laughed at one of the most esteemed members of the Black community, the beloved matriarch figure. She couldn't reconcile seeing such an important figure portrayed by a 6'3" man with prosthetic breasts. Lemia emphasized that mothers, grandmothers, fathers, and grandfathers deserve more respectful representation. She acknowledged Perry's defiance towards the Hollywood establishment, but noted that many Black people shared similar concerns about his work as some white critics, despite its financial success. Guess who else joined the critique party? None other than film director Spike Lee. He didn't hold back in calling out Tyler Perry for using stereotypical characters. According to Spike, the industry could improve by moving away from these one-dimensional characters in Perry's highly successful, but in Spike's words, biased and nonsensical movies. Tyler Perry's casting choices and portrayal of characters are causing quite a stir, sparking discussions about his overall approach to filmmaking. Some voices in the industry argue that Perry tends to typecast dark-skinned actors as villains while portraying white characters as the heroes in his films. Even Chris Rock weighed in, observing a pattern in Perry's movies. Rock pointed out the lack of kind and respectful dark-skinned boyfriends in Perry's films. To emphasize his point, he mentioned Tupac Shakur, suggesting that Perry's movies could benefit from a wider variety of character representations. Rock joked that Tupac might end up as the bad dark-skinned boyfriend in a Tyler Perry movie, highlighting the predictability of Perry's casting choices. Given Perry's usual casting preferences, Rock further expressed his skepticism about the likelihood of Tupac landing a hero role in a Perry film. Both Rock and Spike Lee are aligned in their critique, questioning how Perry's casting and storytelling decisions might influence the success of certain films due to underlying biases. They are both raising concerns about how such biases could be impacting the film industry as a whole. This issue of colorism or discrimination based on skin color isn't new to Hollywood. Rock and Lee's comments shed light on the ongoing challenges surrounding representation and diversity in the industry, prompting important conversations about the impact of these biases on filmmaking and storytelling. Recently, Hollywood has come under intense scrutiny, with media campaigns and hashtags spreading rapidly, exposing some troubling issues. Harvey Weinstein, a prominent figure, was among the first to be publicly accused of abuse in 2017, dragging the industry into a negative spotlight. Now, a new documentary sheds light on the dark side of Hollywood, revealing allegations of power players preying on aspiring actors. The Me Too movement further rocked Hollywood, with scandals emerging left and right. Kevin Hart, slated to host the Oscars in 2019, stepped down due to past homophobic tweets. The Oscars So White campaign emerged, demanding more diversity and recognition for people of color and marginalized communities. Hollywood's reputation has taken a hit, with its once glittering walk of fame now seeming more like a lackluster stroll of shame without those iconic stars. Let's take a trip back to a February afternoon in 1940s America when actress Hattie McDaniel made history. She won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Gone with the Wind, becoming the first African-American to achieve this feat. While this should have been a moment of celebration, segregation marred it. McDaniel was seated separately from the rest of the attendees, highlighting the prevailing discrimination of the time. 80 years later, Hollywood is still grappling with issues of discrimination. Despite discussions about increasing diversity, the 2020 Oscars faced racial controversies. Both viewers and industry insiders have become accustomed to these controversies, and major snubs, such as Lupita Nyong'o being overlooked for her outstanding performance in the 2019 film Us, have become disappointingly common. Let's now delve into Tyler Perry's world of movies and shows, where it's no secret that dark-skinned actors are frequently cast as the antagonists. For instance, take Steve Harris in one of Perry's beloved classics, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. He portrays Charles McCarter, a seemingly successful lawyer whose true colors are unveiled when he reveals infidelity to his wife and mistreats her, eventually kicking her out. Similarly, Blair Underwood, renowned for his role in La La and his extensive career in Hollywood spanning over 4 decades, shared some insights into his early career and encounters with industry legends like Sidney Poitier. He expressed frustration at the limited opportunities for black actors in the 80s, where seeing black faces on screen was rare. When they did appear, the roles were often stereotypical, offering little variety for black audiences. Underwood and Denzel Washington were among the few black actors who stood as symbols of representation during that era. Despite their acclaim, Hollywood remained entrenched in its narrow portrayal of black characters in the 90s. According to Underwood, black actors, regardless of their talent or fame, found themselves competing for the same limited roles, facing familiar challenges year after year. Regarding roles, Philip Van Leer and Ion Overman both had opportunities to portray antagonists in Perry's productions. Van Leer had recurring roles in the first and second seasons of the show, embodying a dealer, while Overman took on the character of Linda Davis, an unscrupulous assistant district attorney involved in fraud and evidence tampering. Ron Rico Lee also contributed to Perry's narratives, portraying Chuck, an assistant district attorney and friend of the protagonist Joshua. These examples underscore Perry's tendency to assign darker-skinned actors to negative roles, raising questions about representation and diversity in his productions. Who could forget Brian White's compelling portrayal as Randy, the abusive boyfriend and all-around antagonist in Tyler Perry's I Can Do Bad All By Myself? Perry's movies and shows often feature a trend where many of the negative characters are notably abusive towards women, a troubling pattern that has sparked discussion. For instance, take his show For Colored Girls, which revolves around 4 black men navigating life, including relationships, friendships, and careers. Despite their tight-knit bond, the show emphasizes their individual experiences rather than their collective journey, showcasing the complexities of the single life. On the other hand, Single Ladies takes a different approach, focusing on the lives of 4 single black women. The tagline, "Single but never solo," suggests exploring their journeys with all the ups and downs of SIAD. This series seems poised to delve into their dating adventures and more, highlighting the diverse experiences of single women. In A Fall from Grace, Crystal Fox shines as Grace Waters, a woman who has endured her ex-husband's affair and decides to pursue love again with Makad Brooks. However, her journey turns dark as she uncovers shocking secrets, leading to a tumultuous exploration of love, betrayal, and the consequences of one's choices. Despite Tyler Perry's significant contributions to the black community, critics have raised concerns about the portraying women in his works. They argue that his films and shows sometimes depict black women facing adversity or unpleasant situations, suggesting that Perry's narratives may prioritize respectability politics as the only path to happiness and success for his characters. Additionally, there are concerns about Perry's extensive creative control, which may limit opportunities for other talented black and brown female writers and directors in the industry. Take Tyler Perry's adaptation of For Colored Girls Who Have Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough as an example. These critiques ask for more nuanced and responsible portrayals in his work. Another circulating rumor suggests that Tyler Perry and others might have made questionable compromises for success, allegedly using their power to control and oppress those who don't comply. Despite Perry's immense fortune, some argue he isn't using it to uplift other black creators as much as he could. These discussions include wild claims about Perry causing harm instead of helping, which is quite astonishing, especially given Perry's success and potential positive influence in the industry. Opinions on Perry are varied, with some feeling he needs to do more to change the narrative. Is Tyler Perry truly the negative figure some rumors portray him as, or is it merely unfounded speculation? Let us know your thoughts on these perspectives in the comments below. Then check out the following video if you don't know that. Kristen Cavallari says Diddy tried to date her, she dodged a bullet. And don't forget to subscribe. See you in the following video.